So I've wanted to do a daily video vlog for a few weeks now, because to be honest, recently I've been rather erratic. I find that I generally go through periods of being very, very highly productive, and then longer periods of being, again, rather erratic, rather back and forth with my behaviour, which isn't to say that I'm unhappy, that I'm depressed. Generally, the mood I'm in is at least 90% of the time, every single day for the majority of the day, a good mood. I'm generally quite happy. It's just that, again, I go through periods of being very highly productive. For example, about probably no less than about a month and a half ago, or a month ago, when I was doing up to 7 to 8 hours of French every single day for several days. And then before that, I was writing quite a lot. I was reading a lot of books. Even just a few weeks ago, I was reading a lot of Plato. But again, it's very back and forward. Some days I'll wake up and for the next 2 weeks I'll be studying several hours, I'll be reading a massive amount, and then on others I'll do very little of it. I'm sure that it is something I will grow out of. Certainly I've changed a lot even in the past 6 months. But nonetheless, again, even though I'm still generally cheerful, generally in a good mood 90% of the time, it is rather annoying to have the whole day pretty much wasted because, again, I'm so back and forward. I will still read, I will still study a bit, but it's very subpar, basically nothing compared to when I'm highly productive. And in a time like this, I find it almost impossible to write. It just doesn't come to me. So yeah, I've wanted to make these to hopefully stay a bit more consistent. So I'll have something every single day to say what I did right, what I did wrong, and just general things throughout the day. Whether it be for the moment to just have something there to know that in a few hours I'm going to have to look forward to making this, and I'm going to have to say, well, I did this, I didn't do this, this is the reason. I only read so many pages, I only studied so much. Again, so that I have something that's keeping me on track, as well as hopefully, again, as I said before in another video, whether it be months or years from now, having something to look back to, seeing the kind of progress I was making then, and the progress I've made since then. And with that said, in the last video I said that I was going to make several videos on the philosophy books I was reading, but again, not only have I been rather erratic recently, but a series of very unexpected events is, well, one very unexpected event and two nonetheless unexpected events, but not quite as dramatic, have happened just in the past 7 days, in the past week, which has set me completely off that. I've decided to start buying books again. Well, I'm still going to be extremely conservative with my money, be very, very careful. I'm specifically going for longer and cheaper books, books that I can expend at least a decent amount of time on, so I'm not constantly buying new books, buying very short, expensive books, and having to buy so many each week or each month. Rather going for longer and cheaper ones. And of course, again, even just a week ago, I wouldn't have considered that. The vast majority of what I read was online, but again, because of what's happened recently with me breaking up with Addy, I have decided to slowly start buying books again, although very cheaply. So instead of doing the series on the several philosophy books I was going to be reading, I'll simply do a daily vlog in which I say what I read, how many pages of it I read, assuming there is pages. Sometimes if it is online you just get a PDF and it's a massive wall of text. Nonetheless, I'll explain the contents of it, what it was. And of course, again, at least what I view as the negative things I did, the bad things I did, because I want to have all those written down and stated here, so it's something I kind of dread having to set it here in stone, so that when I do it, I feel quite guilty about it, and in future it will weigh me off it. Anyway, with that being said, they hope to keep these fairly short. They all will be recorded in this format, since if I do want to talk for longer, it's a lot easier and it's exponentially quicker to upload a video with no video, just audio. With that being said, I suppose I should go through at least a quick catalogue of what I did. Luckily, I got to go to work today, although it is a Friday, so it was only 6 hours. After that, I spent a lot of time on Ponychan, posting as well as kind of lurking through some of the threads. I spent a little time on Discord and I read about 60 or 70 pages of, I can't remember the exact title, it's the Great Reforms, or the Reforms of England between 1815 and 1870. In terms of tomorrow, I have a big bag of books, many of which I got, must be over a year ago now, from several charity shops for free because they were just kind of dumping them outside. I'm going to get rid of some of them, as well as some older books that I've read but don't want. Or I like rid of them tomorrow or the next day. And since it will be Saturday, although I have broken up with Friday, we're both planning to have a kind of, I don't know if you can necessarily call it a date at this point, but nonetheless, talking over voice chat, as well as watching Night on the Galactic Railroad, which is a rather surreal movie, which I quite enjoyed. I think I got into that, must be 6-7 months. That's another thing I feel like noting down. For whatever reason, recently, time seems to be going exceptionally slow. Not in the past week because of unexpected events, but before that. Again, the general feeling of being erraticism, and the slowness of time. It's not to do with the events, it goes further back than that. For example, at the start of it, just a week ago, last Saturday, when I broke up with Friday, looking back on that, it doesn't seem like a week ago, it seems like at least 2 weeks ago, if not 3 weeks ago. And then I look back at things from 2 or 3 weeks ago and it seemed like a month ago. I think back to, again, when I was quite productive when I was writing, which ended just about mid-February, and I mean February, March, April, May. That's what, 2.5 months away. Well, a little over 2.5 months, but it feels like 6 months, 7 months. It feels a lot longer. It feels like even half a year, up to a year. It feels rather ridiculous. And again, it's not necessarily that in the moment, as some experience that time is going slow. It's just looking back. For example, when I attempted to take the bike up to Loch Lomond, which was just April, I believe, early April, that was less than a month away. I mean, that takes me back, and it seems so much longer than that. Must have been the very start of April, or the very end of March again. About a month away, but instead of just over a month away. I mean, even that seems like months ago. That was, again, very late March. Started to take out the bike, very early April. I tried to get to Loch Lomond. It doesn't seem like April or March. It seems like January or February it's boarding rather, or at the very latest, February or March. But yeah, I should probably stop rambling. don't want to make it too long, but of course, because this is a genuine introduction video, I do feel like I should not only, and of course, I know what I wrote down for today was very short. In future days, it should be a little more detailed at least. I really feel like that's not important to write down for today, but rather just to explain what I'm doing here, as well as the general events that have happened over the last week and how I've been feeling. Again, erratic. I feel like time is going very, very slow in the sense of not minute to minute, but day to day, week to week, month to month. Even when I got the new books, which is on Wednesday, which is only 2 days away, it feels like a week, honestly. It feels like a week away, but it's only 2 days. But again, I have still been in a generally good mood. When I say a generally good mood, obviously, breaking up with Addy was extremely upsetting, but when I say good mood, when I say, again, the general things that I'm feeling, I'm not talking about the past week, I'm talking about as a whole in the past month, for example. But yeah, obviously, I'm very upset with that, but don't necessarily say that I'm getting over it, but I'm doing fine. With that, I'll end it, and I genuinely hope that the most of these are 5 minutes, 7 minutes long, certainly not 12.